Okay, so we're live on YouTube now. Is this working? This is crazy. On YouTube now. Okay, let me just make sure that this is reading correctly. Can you guys see just me and Joy like set up as a panel?
I only see y'all two, and I see a screen share.
Yeah, see, okay, that's not what I wanted. Let me stop the share. Maybe that's it. Boom, there it is. Boom. Okay. Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman. Your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? Look who I have. Hey, thank me later. Thank me later. We have the beautiful. Listen. Okay, before I give you your flowers, I'm gonna give you your flowers throughout the show.
Okay.
But just the hard work that you have done becoming a tax attorney. And by the way, this is Joy Lynn Hunt, ladies and gentlemen. The work that she put, she's bringing credibility to this show. She is the first, and may I say it, fly ass lawyer that I'm having on this. She's bad, y'all. Look, there ain't that many people I can see on stage with stilettos, walking back and forth, owning the stage. She is that one. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Joy Lynn Hunt. I'm gonna have sound effects and everything for you, so you're good. You're good. How are you doing today, Queen?
I am awesome, and how are you?
I am fantastic. I've been nervous for this interview. I don't know why. I'm usually not nervous, but for you, I was nervous. So I don't know why. Like the last time I talked to attorneys, like they were trying to convict your brother. You know what I mean? They was trying to put me down. You know what I mean? They was trying to throw some numbers at the kid. So this time I got to talk to an attorney differently. It'd be like,
right.
So Joy, for people that don't know how awesome you are and how fly you are, can you please give them, let them know who you are?
So I am Joy, and I'm a business attorney. I'm also a serial entrepreneur, and I'm just passionate about, sharing the ups and downs of business, the truth about business, because I started my entrepreneurial journey. I'm old. So maybe 2005. Mm-hmm. Before it was cool to be an entrepreneur. Like now, everyone's, quit the job, make $1 million next week. But I started when, no one wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I made so many mistakes. I learned like the hard way. So if I can kind of make someone's entrepreneurial journey a little easier, it's still going to be hard because it's life. But if I can make it a little easier, then, that's what I'm trying to do.
So like in 2005, right? Mm-hmm. What was the transition period? Like, were you working at a firm at the time and you decided, now, was it a favorable situation or a non-favorable that's like, all right, I need to do my own thing? Because if you guys aren't following her on Instagram, like she don't move like your average attorney. Like for real. Like she's Millie rocking, she's doing hella dancing, she's doing pop smoke, she's doing all kind of stuff for y'all. So what happened in that transition that said, 2005, that's it, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur?
Well, I realized the corporate dream job really wasn't my dream, so I come from, two middle-class parents, a teacher, a CPA, he owned his own business. And you think, you work for a firm, you make six figures, I'm flying first class and I'm in all these business meetings and, I'm doing it. But I get that paycheck and it's like FICA and Medicare. And then I'm seeing what they're billing me out to the client versus what I'm seeing. And I'm like, these numbers just it doesn't make sense to me. And then, I'm the only, brown thing there. And you get these talks about, like, do you want to have kids? And it's like, wait, like this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So I said, let me kind of get a plan together because I don't like a ceiling. I want to be able, like, the sky's the limit. But on the flip side, that means that, it may be nothing, but I don't like that salary cap. So I started saving my money for 6 months. And I said, when I get 6 months of like living expenses saved up, I'm just going to quit and do my own thing. And that's what I did. And I never looked back. So in starting my law firm, I've done law firms and I had a tax office. I've had hair boutique. I just got into the, multiple streams of income, like whatever's going to make the money. I'm not really big on titles. Like I'm big on, where am I going to be at the bank the most with? And then that's what I'm going to roll with.
So you got bit with the entrepreneur bug bad.
Yes.
Okay. So like, I know you started your own law firm and now you do have like a credit specialist side of a business as well. When you were going through some of your struggles, what did you notice the most of? Because I see like there's a lot of people that because we have some tech people in here as well that are getting ready to roll out their own app, and maybe they're looking at venture capital, and some of them are actually looking at getting business funding, business credit. In your opinion, which one would you say would you attack first, or not attack at all? Would you get business like venture capitalist funding, or would you go after business credit?
I would go. It depends on the amount that you're trying to get, and it depends, I would say, on the person. Okay. So if you go that business credit route, it's going to take some time to establish, a business credit profile. You're looking about 6 to 9 months to really build it out to be able to walk into a bank to get a line of credit. I think the biggest misconception that's out there is I want to start a business. Someone hand me some money so I can start my business. And in reality, baby, that's not how you're going to start a business. Okay. If you don't go to Starbucks, you don't get your bundles, you don't get your nails, you stay out on the outside, no happy hour. If you go from a 2-bedroom to a 1-bedroom, turn that BMW in, get you a Hyundai, you could save yourself between $10,000 and $20,000 a year just on cutting down on small things. Take your lunch to work. Don't go to Starbucks. But that takes sacrifice. You can't, that takes sacrifice. It's going to be harder, but you'll be 100% owner and you won't have debt. So can you handle debt? Now, me and all my entrepreneurial journeys, I've always raised the money myself. I've always put up my own money. And it's a good thing, but now that I'm learning, I'm like, well, I wish I could have leveraged, some money off of my business credit. So when you do take a loss, it's like, I at least have my cash flow left. So it's kind of like if you're trying to start, you need to use your own money to get started. Because I have so many clients like thinking there's going to be a tree outside that they're going to shake and have all the money that they need to start a business. And you're never going to have all the money you need, because the business always needs money. So you get $100,000, it's like a baby. It always needs something else. So you got to kind of come up with that own surplus yourself.
So it is true what they say. The reason why a lot of businesses fail is because of lack of funding.
Correct. Well, yes, lack of funding, but sometimes that lack of funding is because they didn't know what to do with the money in the beginning. So I have seen people like go out and they'll put their money on a nice office and furniture. And it's like, honey, let's get hot first. Let's get the inventory. Like, put your money into what's making you money, not on the aesthetics.
Okay. So let me ask you, in your entrepreneur, and I'm sure you've had a lot of war stories, right? What would you say that sticks out the most, the top 3 lessons you've learned as being an entrepreneur since 2005?
Top 3 lessons. Number one is just going to be you. Okay. Those friends, those family, people want to see you win, but they don't want to see you win bigger than them. So
I saw that somewhere too.
When the house changes, when the cars change, when those vacations change, things just change. And so you have to be able to understand, you may have gone to elementary school with this person. This may be your cousin, your aunt, whoever. You are going to lose a lot of people on the way with your success. Number 2, don't grow too fast. A lot of times when your business has momentum, you may think, oh, if I had 3 or 4 locations, I could, make this go a little faster. There is I'm on a podcast. No, sir. There is a problem with when you're growing too fast, if you don't have that infrastructure in place. Gotcha. So I had a salon franchise. It was called Super Express, home of $50 sewing in Houston, Texas. And we were booming. We had, the girls lined up. We had 5 locations in Houston. And then I just took it Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Beaumont, but I grew too fast. So I can't be at all the locations at the same time. I didn't have someone who could mirror me for quality control. Is there the same customer service? Because the fries in DC at McDonald's taste the same as the fries in LA. You got to have that consistency. So when you grow too fast, you may not have that infrastructure in place. Gotcha. And so then you get into a problem where maybe one location is booming, but one is bleeding. You're trying to stop the bleed, and you're putting good money on bad money, and that was a disaster. So growing too fast is another thing. Sometimes the smaller the club, the crunker the party is the way to go. 1, 2, 3. No one's coming to save you. Okay, so no one's coming to save you. You chose to go into business, so you have to handle all what comes with business. So a lot of times people think with success is, the vacations and the cars and the money and the this, but it also comes with the lawsuits. It comes with the taxes. It comes with a lot of stuff. And it's like, you got to realize you wanted all this. So this is just a part of business. Nobody wants to hear your sob story. Nobody cares you have a 6-figure bill with the IRS. Like, you got to just handle it. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So when you talk about don't grow too fast, because I think that's happened to me too. Like, business was booming at one time, and then I just started building my staff, right? And then just grabbing people here, grabbing people there, and then more money's going out than coming in at that point. I guess my mindset wasn't right on that. When you were working on your businesses, right? how important is having the right mindset? And where did you learn to develop the right mindset to overcome those hurdles? Because some of these punches in the face from business and life can really just like wipe you out. You're done. You're like, okay, this ain't for me.
I think you have to have a, I call it a why. So why are you doing this? And your why, it can't be anything material. It can't be, I'm doing this to get a Bentley. I'm doing this to get a Birkin. Because baby, when life throws that Mike Tyson blow, you're going to be like, screw that Bentley. I'll just ride around this Benz and I'll be okay. You got to have a why as to no matter what, I got to bust my butt because I got to do blase, blase, blah. So for me, when I was a sophomore in college, my parents divorced and they were married, I don't know, 20, 30 years. But I saw my mother's lifestyle change drastically because my dad was the breadwinner.
Okay.
So, middle class home, she's, PTA mom, she's, can shop where she wants to shop to now we're a school teacher, now we're on a budget, when she first got divorced, now we have a roommate, trying to get back on our feet. And I was like, yeah. I'm never going to financially depend on a man. So my why was, I got to make something shake because I don't want to have to depend on a man for my lifestyle. Gotcha. Maybe you were homeless and you were broke, or, you had to, whatever is that deep down thing inside of you, you got to have that to keep going when the Mike Tyson blows come, because they're coming.
Right. Indeed. What have you been up to lately? Like, is this law firm still up and running?
I don't have a law firm. So I stopped practicing law back in 2012 when my salons took off. Okay. So I've been an entrepreneur since 2005, had multiple businesses all this time. And then when COVID hit, I would always get DMs. Hey, can you show me, how to do it? And I was like, girl, I'm working. I ain't got time for this. But when COVID hit, I was like, well, I ain't got nothing but time on my hands. Right. So I was like, let me start, forming LLCs and let me start just doing some. So I really started the firm during COVID, just trying to help, new business owners like do things the right way. Because when you know how to do something, you think everyone knows how to do it.
Indeed.
And then you get these questions, you be like, girl, who told you to do it like that? So I started the firm. So I'm trying to be like a affordable resource where you can get business and legal and business credit tips to kind of grow your business at an affordable rate. Because I know cash flow is always going to be an issue, with businesses. And I want to be able to help like a lot of people, not make it too expensive to where my goal is to help new people start it right so they can just grow it.
Well, let's speak on that, because when I saw you speak in Virginia, you were talking about corporate structure, right? And then you were talking about how people were able to obtain business funding, business credit. So what are some of the mistakes you see people do when they're trying to set up a corporate structure?
The number one mistake is running multiple businesses under one LLC or corporation. Okay, so I don't know who said have one LLC and then run your car wash, your lash business, each business is its own business. It needs its own LLC. Everything needs to be separate, not like one big gumbo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm laughing is because she did a TikTok. I don't know where she got this video from, but it was like a person trying to. This is what it looks like when you're trying to run multiple businesses under one LLC, and the shit was funny as hell. And go to her Instagram page; it's all the way lit. Now. Can we talk a little bit about the business funding, business credit. I have no clue like how to obtain that stuff, but I know that that is something I do need to tap into one of these days.
Right.
What is needed, or what is it anyway?
Okay, let me.
Yeah, because I know you in your bag with this one. She in a bag with this one, y'all.
So business credit is basically establishing a credit profile like your personal credit profile, but it's just for the business. So based on your business's income structure, it can go out into a bank and get funding. It can apply for credit cards. You know, it can go to a dealership and get a vehicle in its name solely based on the financials and the structure of the business.
Do your personal credit play a part in that?
Solely based on your business
Gotcha.
financials.
Gotcha.
So no. So the problem is people don't build out their business credit profile. Mm-hmm. They're going to go get a Uline account, a Quill account. I got my Dunn's number. Why can I get a G-Wagon? Like, no, like if you are fresh out of high school, so you think of a business as fresh out of high school.
Okay.
Okay. So an 18-year-old graduating has no credit, right? Can they go to the Benz store and finance a Benz? No, they don't have any history. Okay. Right. So in a business, you have to now go establish history for your business. But the problem is most business vendors that businesses use don't report to the business credit bureaus. So you have to go find vendors or trade lines that will report to the business credit bureaus. And the business credit bureaus will be Dun & Bradstreet. That's the biggest one. Then Small Business Equifax, Small Business Experience. So there's like, first, you got to make your business verifiable and credible. The number one mistake is that side hustle mentality.
Okay.
Like, let me give me my LLC, my EIN, now give me the money. Like, no, baby, you have to be Walmart. Okay. If you have a Gmail account, no bank is giving you money. You have a Gmail account. Like, no, what business has a Gmail account?
Gotcha.
You're using a home address or a PO box. Baby, what business, what corporate entity, a Walmart or Sam's Club does not have their mama's address on their corporate documents, nor do they have a UPS PO box.
I hide it at my auntie house.
So it's like, you can't have the side hustle structure, but then walk into Chase Bank and expect it to be like a business. So we got to first become verifiable, credible. We got to set our structure up correctly. And that's more than just getting an LLC that you probably haven't filed your annual report now. So now it's inactive, and getting an EIN number. Like, you have to set it up correctly. So a proper email, a proper phone number, which is a business number, a business address, a branded email account. So info@tigerspodcast.com, not Tiger Podcast LLC @gmail.com. When the lenders Google your business, what pops up? There should be a business social media page, not your page, a business social media page. Okay. You should have a Google business page. You should be listed in Yelp. You should have a website. You know how many businesses are like, I can't get a credit card. You have a website? No, I mean, it's like, you have to look like Walmart. Because you want them to loan you money like you're Walmart. So the first part is going to be making yourself verifiable, credible, setting yourself up. And this is another reason why you don't want to have just one gumbo LLC. So if you got your podcast, you got your notary, you got your car wash on the side, that's 3 LLCs.
3 of them.
Business, you set them up correctly. That's 3 entities walking into Capital One, getting a credit card. That's 3 entities walking into Chase Bank, getting a line of credit. That's 3 lines of credit. That's 3 entities walking in, driving out with 3 different corporate cars from 4. That's 3 people. So why make it one person?
Okay, you just blew my mind there. Yeah. So my notary agency would be one. My podcast would be another one. Me being a notary myself is one as well, or no?
If you have you can make If they're paying you personally.
No,
Or
they would pay the company, yeah, but the company would pay me.
If you have the company paying your business.
Wait, you can have your company pay your business?
You mean the company that's paying you for the notary, like the
right, like so my US notary agency would pay me.
Tiger.
Yes.
Personally. Okay.
Would I be able to go apply for a loan like that as an individual or no?
Well, as an individual using your social.
Gotcha.
If they're paying you.
Makes sense.
If they were going to pay Tiger's Notary LLC, then that would be a separate entity. See, an LLC is like is another person that's separate from you.
Okay.
So let's just say you went through a divorce and you had to file bankruptcy. You're just, that's you personally. That ain't got nothing to do with your LLC.
So is that why some people in like real estate, every property they have would be under its own LLC?
No. So that's for asset protection. So
gotcha.
Back to the gumbo. So let's say I have 5 rental properties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I put all those rental properties under one LLC and one of my tenants in house number 1 slips and falls and breaks her neck, and then let's say she gets a judgment against me that's more than what my insurance covers. So let's say after the judgment, I still owe her $500,000. Mm-hmm. Well, although she slipped and fell in house number 1, because I got all of my houses in one LLC, like some gumbo, she can now take all those assets. Okay. So in real estate, you put each LLC in a separate. You put each property in a separate LLC. So if she slips and falls in house number 1, she's only going to get what LLC house number 1 has. So whatever cash in the bank. But if she owns the property, owning meaning there's no mortgage, you have a deed to the property. Now, to be smarter, you can have one LLC called a holding company. So you'll put all your property in the holding company. The holding company does no business with anyone, so it can't be sued. You would then lease the property from the holding company to your management LLC. The management LLC will then do the transactions between the management LLC and the tenant. But the management LLC, the LLC owns nothing. So she slips, she falls, she sues you. Okay, well, ain't nothing to get over here.
Copy. Now this is confusing me a little bit. So like if I have 3 businesses, separate entities, all under different LLCs, and I have is it okay to have a virtual office? Yes. With Regis? Okay. Would it be conflicting if I had those 3 businesses pointed at that one virtual office or no? No. Ah. Like you guys raise your hand to speak to Joy because she's dropping heat. Y'all. Raise your hand because I know y'all eager to talk to her. You guys been sending me a lot of DMs. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So I can have them under the same Regis location. Okay. We got somebody I want to talk. Tech, unmute yourself, brother.
This is a great conversation. I agree. I think the information about the business credit is to me something that I learned that as well, and I'm getting more information about that. Here's a question I have for you, Joy. Thank you, by the way. What role does a prior relationship have with obtaining a business credit? For example, you talk about trade line reporting. Like I have a relationship with American Express, right? I have a card. My wife has a card as well, and that's a company that I want to. And it can be anybody, but for them, I have a relationship with them. Discover how much of a role does that play in addition to like your personal score and all that with obtaining the most amount of business credit. I mean, the highest amount possible.
Obtaining business credit, if you're okay with being on the loan, so if you're okay with being the PG, personal guarantor, so a strong credit score for a personal guarantor, and then a great revenue coming into the business bank account. That's what you're going to need to get the highest. If you are not trying to use you as a personal guarantor, we need to have more revenue coming into the business bank account. So in my business credit, like coaching that I do, if you're okay, like we got to plan it out. So if you know I need to get X amount line of credit, well, the bank's going to pull 3 to 6 months of bank statements. So we need to start stacking deposits into the business bank account so it looks nice. So whether, like, let's just say maybe you have like 40 grand in your savings, right? In your personal savings. Well, what if we just did, different transactions to get that money from out of personal? Maybe we have some invoices for the business and we're paying the business to kind of have that money sit on the business side to make that, it's called a bank rating. The bank rates you as how much money on average your account has on the first. Okay, so as long as we have, instead of it sitting in on your personal side, let's just park it on the business for a second. Then we can get that line of credit because your business looks strong, and then we can put it back where it needs to go. So
Understood.
that will help you. That plus having a strong credit score is going to help you get the maximum funding because they're looking at what kind of revenue is coming in. What can you afford to pay back?
Got it. Thank you. Makes perfect sense. Yeah. It's not just one thing, right? I know that, right? It's always but I didn't put it in that perspective. And rather than, sitting on some money that you have stashed somewhere else, why not give it, put it to work, so to speak. All right.
Right.
Thank you, Tuck. So, Joy, what tips can you give? Like 3 tips, just simple tips that people can just get started in the right direction of structuring, or just even, trying to obtain some business capital.
Okay. Tip number 1 is going to be start. Just start. Like wherever you are, start. If you don't have your logo, you don't have your website, like start. The hardest part is, I feel entrepreneurs that this day and age, they want to wait until like everything is perfect. Like I've baked the cake and I got to get the icing on it. And then I got to get the whipped cream and the cherry and like, girl, just start. Like just start.
Yeah.
Okay. So your packaging may not be right. Your logo may be a little, bootleg, you may be selling it out of your trunk, just start. Cause you got to start to see what works, like what product or service, are people really liking? Like what, maybe you're selling clothes. You're thinking, the jeans are going to be hot, but it's to start. Just start. I call it analysis paralysis. Just start. So tip number 1, wherever you are, just start. Okay. Of course, start with your LLC. So you're a protected person, but just start. Number 2, you need to know your target audience. Like, who is your product or service made for? And it's not made for everybody. Does that mean that someone who's not in your target audience won't shop with you? No, but you can only market to one target audience. So make sure that you know who you are targeting to. For example, Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
If a girl comes in, asking for like, when's the friends and family discount? What purse is on sale? Like that's not Chanel's target audience. Chanel's target audience is a girl who wants to pay a premium. So when she goes to dinner, no one else has her bag. Okay. So they're looking for a certain type of person.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean that Kiki and them, aren't going to roll up to Chanel and get them a bag. If I go and try to target Kiki and them, I'm about to lose my target audience, the girl who can pay $5,000 to $10,000 for a handbag. So who is your target audience? Market to them and go to where they are. Tip number 3 would be, you need to understand your cash flow. A lot of people keep saying they need funding. You don't need funding. You don't know how to manage your cash flow. So certain seasons of the month or certain times of the year, your business is going to have an increase. We can't ball out on the increase. Gotcha. We have to put that increase out on the reserve because the sun don't shine every day. Okay, so in your skim months, you need a little security blanket to pull from to carry you through, because you're not going to have a harvest season all year long. But if you don't understand your numbers, you don't understand how much does it cost for my business to run a month. You got to know what that. Now, I need to make $10,000 to pay rent, payroll, lights, boom, boom, boom. If you don't know your numbers, then you don't know how to manage your cash flow. If you're just going off of, well, this week I made this, and this week, well, one slow week's gonna take you out. You're gonna get behind. You're gonna get behind on inventory, behind on rent, behind on, and that's it's not a funding problem, it's a cash flow problem. So understanding your cash flow, understanding how much it takes for you to run, trim some of that fat. Maybe we don't need as much payroll. Maybe our inventory doesn't need to be as extensive. You know, like Raising Cane's or Chick-fil-A, maybe it's chicken and fries. You know, you pick how you want, on some bread, on a salad, but it's just chicken and fries. They ain't got hamburgers, they ain't got shrimp, they ain't doing all that. They're keeping the inventory real simple. So you got to, go through your inventory. Are you maximizing, what you're doing, not just wasting your money, because money will run out if it's not used appropriately.
So be prepared for those winters. Stock away something for the winter.
Stock away
winter months, right?
But you have to know your numbers. What does it take for you to run every month? And is that number sufficient? Like, I did a consultation with a beauty supply owner, and she was, lack of fun. She had run out of money, had a bad week. She's functioning her cash flow weekly, but she would, every time someone would come in and say, hey, you don't have this, and she'd be like, no, she would then go and order it, and then it's just sitting on the shelf. So sometimes you extend yourself too much in your inventory.
Makes sense. Okay, Gina, coming in from North Carolina, from the way of the Bronx, you can unmute yourself. Tap in with Joy.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Tiger, for having me on your program. And Miss Joy, I've been following you since February of this year. Yes, and in reference to, like, the first time I saw you on Instagram, you had posted something about grants for female entrepreneurs and stuff. And from there, and I followed you, and I was like, wow, a sister for one. And then two is, like Tiger said, you just got like hella swag. So I just wanted to give you your flowers on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now the question that I have, you was touching on capital and stuff like that. I have my business set up with LLC and all that stuff. The only thing that's missing as far as the cherry on top is the trademark. So I'm working on that. The capital thing, you was touching on, I got to know my numbers and things like that. So that's pretty much my challenge for my business. And I've only been on this entrepreneur ride now officially 2 years. So I'm still, thank you. Well, it was kind of out of a necessity. It wasn't like, oh, sure, that's what I want to do. No, I was kind of put in a corner.
That's why you're going to fight your best when you're against the wall, right?
Yes, ma'am. So there's one more question I had. So in my circumstance, mine's is the credit part, the PG part is shot. So since my husband had passed and everything else, everything's kind of been on me, and financially that has taken a toll with my credit and stuff. So what advice would you give for somebody that's having that's trying to repair their personal credit, because at some point it does affect the business when you're trying to get capital.
So that's where building out that business credit profile comes in hand. So welcome to business. Every business owner's credit, for the most part, if it's not, if it's not hurt, you may be overextended. So you can have a great credit score, but your debt to income ratio, may be a little too high.
Oh, that's shot. The debt to income ratio, yeah.
So that will hurt you. So I don't that's okay. We need to build out our business credit profile. If you go to my website, I have a business credit coaching program. What kind of industry are you in again?
Notary business, ma'am.
Okay. I also have a business grant bundle. Now, the good thing about grants is free money. So
yes, ma'am. I used to be a government worker. I'm very familiar with how that works.
Oh, come on. So if you do grants, if you can apply for a grant, and I always tell business owners, take one Sunday out the month, see what business grants are available for that month, and just apply. Like, we can also get some capital that can help sustain us, and we don't have to pay it back. But I would say building out your business credit profile so you can have business credit to be able to, leverage that, and then also applying for grants. And I have both those things on my website.
Yes, ma'am. I'll definitely check that out. Thank you for your time, and thank you for blessing us with all this knowledge for us. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.
Thanks, Gina. Hey, I see you on there. Loyal NYC is there. Cam, hey, Cam, come on here. I want to do a shameless plug. I think this would be a great opportunity for you to ask Joy about, being at the conference. Hey, this is Cam, Joy from Oakland, California.
Hey, Cam,
how you doing? I'm doing well. First off, thank you for doing this. Like, this is phenomenal. I'm taking notes while I'm doing it. So I really, really appreciate this. Like you said, we just gonna get into it. So I'm throwing a conference. It's called the First Generation Millionaires Conference in Oakland. I'm sorry, in October 7th through 10th, and it's going to be here in Sacramento, California. And I just love your vibe. Like, you are speaking my language, honey. You are hitting all the points. Like, it's an amazing thing when you can come in to somebody who's been doing it longer, and they're like, okay, you reinforce what I know and I'm feeling, and it's like, okay, so I'm on the right track. I'm definitely following the right steps. And so you just kind of giving your true and your authentic opinion is an amazing thing. As business owners, sometimes we just need that reinforcement. But what I want to do with this conference is, a lot of us, of course, are kind of building without like the appropriate steps, without the appropriate resources. And we're trying to cross over those 7-figure marks to sustain our businesses, grow them, change wealth, family, all of that stuff. So everything that you said in this podcast is like dead on of what I would like to do and to present to the conference attendees, because as we talked about, one wrong move or too many wrong moves takes you all the way out the game, right? So to properly structure our businesses and to have someone with your level of intellect and insight, I would love to be able to talk with you more about it and see if that is something that you would be willing to do. The conference is a 3-day conference. It's in person, and we are covering over 10 industries. So, there's something for everybody. But again, as you are speaking so like eloquently to just the structure, you know what I'm saying? That's a huge thing. The legal issue, all of those things. So if we could have the opportunity, I would just like a few minutes of your time to see if this is something that we can make happen. Like, I would be ecstatic if we could make that happen.
And you're talking about being a speaker, Cam?
Absolutely.
I'm brokering deals, Joy.
baby, all this fire. Okay, like these are the. I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but I'm like,
Don't worry, you don't have to. I'll do it. I'm brokering deals, baby.
Got my back. Listen, like we are searching for, our attendees to match this vibe. We all, all of the speakers tend to share this vibe. Like, let's tell you how this really goes, so you can, avoid some of them, like you say, those setbacks. Because they did, like you said, almost took me out a couple times. So I'm still here. And so, yes, I would love to chat with you, and I would love to have you come and speak, whatever it is that you could do. I would love to talk about it.
Okay, well, Tiger, you have my information, right?
Yep. You want me to send it to her? Done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited, but on your podcast, thank you so much. Like, this is a dope. I'm going to find you on social media. I don't know where you are, but I will find you, because I'm like, I need this energy. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Cam. Thanks for tapping in. Loyal, are you on there? Huh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Instagram.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely plug your Instagram. Okay. We got Loyal out, and she's from the Bronx, but she repping Brooklyn right now.
That's right.
Brooklyn in the house.
Listen, I promise you, I'm still high from Virginia. All that information that was spread, all them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Joy, she was there.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, girl.
Yep.
Hey. Yeah, I just appreciate just the information. There was a lot of things that you touched on today that you and I had a conversation about when we were down there, just making sure the big business is structured appropriately. I was sharing with you that initially when I did the LLC, it was registered in with my home address. So making those changes and just kind of looking out for these different business funding ideas. And I haven't tapped into the grant, so I keep hearing it. So I think that's going to be my next avenue, tapping in, to those grants and really looking out and see what exactly I can do to take this to the next level.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you, Loyal. So I put in Joy's Instagram page, so you guys can click the link in the chat. It'll take you directly to her IG page, where you can see her do some of her latest dance moves. You heard her latest dance moves. With that being said, Joy, did any final words, Queen?
Final words. You are you, and that is your superpower. No one can do it like you. Do not get discouraged on your road to on your entrepreneurial journey road, because it's tough, and the more money you make, the more problems come. But what I think a lot of times people feel like they focus on where they want to be. And they forget to look to see how far they've come. And if you just take a moment to be like, you know what, this last year I've really grown, or this last year my business is really, blah, 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 or shoot, this last year I'm still here, I'm still standing. Like, sometimes you got to, pat yourself on the back for overcoming the challenges that have been presented either personally or, business wise, and just really appreciate who you are. You haven't quit, and kind of take those positive vibes to get you to that next level, but never forget how far you've come.
Joy, thank you so much for being on here. This was everything I expected it to be. Thank you guys for joining the Notary Dime Show, because I'm bringing number dimes in this joint. You heard? And with that being said, peace, love, and happiness and cash flow. I wish you guys the very best. Salute.